Alright, in this video we're going to talk about a few different functions that we can use to affect strings. Okay, let's just get started and we'll get an input of some kind. We'll say response equals input. I don't know what kind of question we should ask today. I don't know, cars are on my mind because our last exercise was about a car thing. So how many cars do you own? If we do this, and then we can print our response to see what it kind of looks like. And let's just run this. How many cars do I own? 1. And it prints 1. A lot of times people don't do this. They do something like this. How many cars do I own? And then they say 1, and oh, that's weird because it's all running together because the person who wrote this program didn't leave me space. I'm just gonna put a couple spaces there so that it makes sense. And you can see here when I've printed this, it has printed all these spaces here. We run into this kind of thing all the time, or you have spaces at the back. Do a couple spaces at the back, and we can't even see them, but they're there. And so what? So what if they're there? Well, what's the problem? The problem that could arise if we have something like if response equals 1, then we say print, too bad you only have 1 car. Nothing really bad about that, but whatever. Yeah, so if we run this and we put a couple spaces there so it looks better, right? And okay, so 1, but it didn't print this message because what we have is not, I'm just going to type it out here, it's not this string ONE, it is actually this string space ONE. So these two things are not the same. And so when we are doing a comparison here to see if those things match, well, they're not going to match because they're not the same. Okay, so we want to make them the same. So what we can do is we can do response equals response dot strip. Run it again. How many cars do I own? I own 1 car. And even though you can see here, I printed it before I printed it here. This is before I did the strip. Even though I printed it there, I did the strip after, and then this thing was true because it did print the thing inside the if. Okay, so my if statement worked essentially because I had to clean up my data before. Okay, so strip will strip out anything that you tell it to strip. So, if you want to strip like random punctuations, sometimes that happens. All you have to do is put some random punctuations in here, like so, and it will strip all those out. So let's just try. We'll run. How many cars do I own? If for some other reason we put exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, you can see the if statement still works because it removed all those. In fact, let's move this print after the strip. No, let's do it before and after. Print response before the strip, do the strip, print response after the strip, and there we go. All right, so we've made this printing it before and after so that we can see what is actually happening when we are changing this thing. Okay, and so we'll run that, and we'll put a few spaces and a few random punctuations. Not that random because it's all the punctuations that are in here. And then we put 1. And we can see that it changed from this to this. So it took out all that stuff. And then we can see that our if statement actually did work. it can take stuff out. So remember that you have to put your things that you would like to remove, put it in quotation marks. So that's one thing. And the other thing is it can only remove stuff from the beginning and the end. Okay, it cannot remove stuff in the middle. So you can't say something like something like that, where you have spaces inside. It's not going to remove those spaces, okay? But you can have stuff at the beginning or at the end. Like so. And you can see it removed the stuff at the beginning and it removed the stuff at the end. What else do we have to say about this? I think that's it. Okay. So that is the that is the strip function. We also have upper and lower. So let's delete this strip stuff and let's try turning everything into uppercase. And so the way we do that is we do response equals response dot upper. Okay. And you do need to have these brackets. Okay. And so let's print response to see if it worked. And you can see it has changed everything into uppercase. And because everything is now in uppercase, it doesn't match this. And so this didn't print out. Okay, which is what, is correct, even though that's not what we actually wanted. We actually wanted to be lowercase. So we could also do lower. Okay. So if we run it and we happen to do uppercase like this, it will automatically turn everything into lowercase. And then the if statement worked because it did match. The one that I'm trying to match is all lowercase. What if somebody did uppercase O and E? That's maybe a more common thing to do. And you can see that it changed that capital O into a small o, and everything else was lowercase, so it remained as lowercase, and that's just fine. And then that also worked. So I would say in most cases, changing everything to a lowercase is the way to go in most cases. And in this case, having all your if statements comparing things to all lowercase is pretty useful. And that's how I would do your next assignment, the food bot assignment. I would compare everything in lowercase, which means that all the things in your list have to be lowercase as well. Okay. But you can do upper, lower. You can do them at the same time. So I can strip it first and then go lower. Response.strip. So put a bunch of spaces, uppercase 1, and you can see it changed into no spaces, lowercase 1, which did match this, and so that thing did print out, which is pretty much what I want, right? Yeah, so that's it for using strip, upper and lower. Hope that is useful, and we'll see you in the next one.